What's happening, guys? Ken Jr. filming Ken riding up on the Bultaco TSS Replica.
Well, there's barely enough room to get this thing out of first gear around here in the parking lot, and I've already wore out my welcome with the cops riding on the street, so I'm not going to take this on the road. But I did talk to the previous owner who raced this thing on the track, and he said he did quite well with it up at Laconia, and it is certainly set up and ready for Daytona, Laconia, or to anywhere you want to road race this thing, and campaign it in the vintage racing circuit. So come on inside, I'll tell you about the history of this extremely rare Bultaco TSS 1962 road racing replica. This bike, if you've been following the value of these vintage racers, they're going through the roof. Check Meekum's auctions, completed listings. Call Kenny at 860-454-7024. He'll give you the link to the auction. They had two of them go up. Estimated value was $30,000 on one and $40,000 on the other one. They look exactly like this. They didn't meet the reserve, but it just goes to show you these things are worth a fat stack of cash because they only made very few of them. I think 135 of them total. So come on inside. I'll give you a complete rundown of the pedigree, the build history, everything I know about this bike. It's an absolutely stunning machine. I think you can tell from the video shoot in the riding portion of the video that this thing is absolutely stunning. It's a museum piece. It is on display in the New England Motorcycle Museum. Now it's an extremely rare 1962 Bultaco TSS replica built by George Ellis. If you've been around the Italian Motorcycle Owners Club at all, you'll see his bikes in the winner's circle there all the time. This particular bike is a replica of the 62 Bultaco M6C 200cc four-speed air-cooled racer. The parts, a lot of the parts came from Hughes Bultaco. Hughes also let him into the museum 3 times to measure and photograph an original TSS he had on display. The first item, the frame, is an M21 Compara. Take a close-up on the frame, real good and close for him. The M21 means Bultaco Model 21. This holds true with all the motor numbers listed. The frame M20 Compara was gusseted to match the original TSS. The engine cases are the M21 Compara. That's the best 4-speed cases that were available from this era. And the transmission is an M11 Rickman-Matisse close ratio. It shifts beautifully. If you're familiar with the Rickman history, you'll know that they built some very high-performance motorcycles using the Matisse Rickman frame, and they had some specialty engine components they'd put in their Bultaco motors. So it's a Rickman-Matisse close ratio transmission, very rare, very expensive. The cylinder and head are M3 Sherpa S with a 12-to-1 compression ratio. It's rated for 27.5 horsepower at 9,000 RPM. I barely got this thing into the power band going up around the driveway here. The thing's an absolute screamer. The carb is a Mikuni 26 VM on a modified Bultaco manifold, and the ignition is an M7B CDI from Hughes. The forks are M85 Alpinas modified to the correct travel, and the steering bearings are tapered rolling bearings from All Balls. The front wheel is an M25 250 Matrella, and the rear hub is actually off of a Honda, and it allows more rear sprocket options than the stock Bultaco hub, which is very limited. This Honda sprocket gives you the ability to gear it pretty much anywhere you want, the Honda hub. The rims are Akron shouldered aluminum 1.6 by 18, which is correct to the TSS, and the spokes are Buchanan stainless. The gas tank is the is all new parts, all new TSS parts from Hughes. The seat, the fairing, the windshield, and the exhaust. So the entire body package on it is all new TSS parts from Hughes. So if you look closely at this, the fairing is in mint condition. The inside of the fairing has been painted black to give it a very stealth look. The factory paint, the paint job was put on it resembles the factory racers from that era. The aluminum components on here, the Bultaco thumb on the thumbs up on the cap is just awesome. The triple clamps are polished aluminum. The all of the hardware on here, everything looks brand new. This bike's never been dropped. There's no cracks on the fairing and the bar ends. This is a museum quality piece. It's ready to roll into the museum right now. The shocks on them, can you zoom in on the shock right here? You can see it's a Red Wing KM-S340. Fantastic handling shock. And I think if you look, you'll see the rim. Where is it? I saw it on the rim here before. Here it is. Let me roll it over for you. These are brand new Akron rims. Got a little bit of chain lube on it because we lubed the shit out of the chain when it went to the detail shop. Brand new Akron rims, brand new Buchanan stainless steel spokes with a polished Honda hub, brand new bearings also. Swing arms, beautiful Bultaco piece. The rear sets, check out these rear sets. These are super nice. And it has a custom kickstand setup that actually slides over the kickstand, which is pretty ingenious. I really like that, and it works beautifully. One of the best setups I've seen for a removable kickstand. So it's got the AMA sticker on the side. 876 is the number that he used when he raced this bike. It was raced lightly in vintage competition. Wasn't beat on. It was just more of an exhibition thing. Can you zoom in on the motor and show them how clean the engine case is on? Even the aluminum engine cases were painted. The cases were split. The transmission was mic'd. Everything was tested. Everything was checked to be perfect. It's got a new clutch. The top end, well, everything was brand new on the motor, including the spark plug, head gasket, base gasket, carburetor, the air filter. All the hardware is brand new on the bike. Everything's, all aluminum's polished. The forks are polished. The rims are polished. The hubs are polished. It truly is probably better than the 62 Bultacos they raced as far as fit and finish, because they didn't polish everything like. I mean, it's just done right. The new fork gaiters, the chrome on the forks is in mint condition, as is the polished aluminum on the front and rear fenders. The front brake system. Zoom in on the front brake system and check out. Zoom in. Can you zoom in on that Akron logo there? You can see the chrome sticker is still beautiful condition. Well, why? Because it's brand new. This bike's only got, I'm going to say this bike's got about 50 miles on it total since it was built, frame up built. The tires are brand new Avon Roadrunners, period correct road racing tires. And the front brake assembly, all aluminum is polished on it. Just the wire tying to road race this. Look at all the bolts that are zipped, wire tied on here, right? Everywhere on the bike, everything to get through the AMA tech inspection. That takes a lot of time to do, to wire tie a whole bike like this. The brake has a ram air system on it. All the pads are new. All the bearings are new. It's essentially a brand new, completely remanufactured motorcycle. Now, to do any motorcycle like this, if you bring it to a shop like ours that charges $70 to $100 an hour, we'll say $90 an hour is about the industry average. To build a bike like this from scratch, split the cases. I'm not even talking about chasing parts, just all the polishing, the wiring, the rebuilding everything, the paint job. It's 100 hours labor. And minimum, if you were lucky to find all the parts, I went on Hugh's website. None of this stuff is on their website. They just happen to have it in stock. I don't believe these items are in stock. The tank, the tailpiece. I'm not even sure today that you could find the parts to build this. But if you could, I put a very, very conservative number of $5,000 on the parts to find the Matisse transmission, the Red Wing shocks, the Akron rims, the spokes, the tires, the top end, all the bearings in the paint job. So figure $5,000 in parts and 100 hours labor. At 90 bucks an hour, which is good luck finding a shop that even do this kind of work that will do it for 90 bucks an hour. But that replacement value, there's a couple of ways to value an antique like this. One, time and material to build it. That's the basis I'm using to give the estimate of the value. To reconstruct this would be a $14,000 investment. That's $5,000 for parts, gathering all the parts, and 100 hours labor. Now, if you look into the comprehensive vintage motorcycle price guide for the 62 TSS, ironically, that's what they say it's worth, $14,000. So, however, you can't buy them for that kind of price because they're not available. And the two that went up at Mecum were estimated value of $30,000 and $40,000. Why? Because they're extremely rare. Why? They only made 100 of them. They were raced. Most of them were beaten in submission or crashed. So there's only a handful of these that exist. This one's a reproduction, but it is done to the correct standard, exactly as I mentioned in my notes earlier. So this bike is significant in that Honda was dominating road racing with their single-cylinder, high-revving, four-stroke 125cc engines. They, Bultaco, when they came out with this, they blew their doors off, and this ushered in a new era of the two-strokes dominating road racing. This is back in 1962. So 72, 82, 92, 2002, 2012. That's 57 years ago. So just a really cool piece. It's going on display in the museum. If you have any questions about it, give us a call at 860-454-7024. The cool part about this bike is if you wanted to road race it, parts are readily available. You can do a top-end job on this thing in 3 or 4 hours by yourself. It's not that big of a deal. They're easy to service, and it's a beautiful piece. Is there anything you'd like to add about this bike, Kenny, before we wrap it up?
We haven't seen one. Check our channel. We've been through, well, 2,500 classics, and we have yet to find a Bultaco TSS. Well, because the originals are extremely rare, and to find the reproduction parts is, well, you likely won't be able to. So good luck finding another one, never mind a nicer one.
As far as the parts, I did go on Hugh's site to see what they had available, and they had a pipe on there like this. It was $760 just for the expansion chamber. And, you know, then you got the carb. Add it up. Like I said, I think $5,000 is a conservative estimate of the value of the individual parts. And I think $100 is a conservative estimate what it would take to massage those parts into and craft them into this beautiful piece that you see before you. The reserve will be set substantially less than what the replacement cost would be, so it's going to be a great value right off Jump Street. It's no questioning the pedigree of the model and the history of this particular model, how it dominated road racing, and there's no doubt it would cost you a small fortune to build one if you could find the components to build it. And this one's done, so I always say it's easier to buy one that's done than it is to build it yourself. It's done, and it's a proven piece. It's been on the track. It's been on the racetrack. So good luck bidding on this bike. God bless Senor Bultaco from Spain for building this, Senor Bulto for building this kick-ass, beautiful piece. Carl, is there anything you want to add about this? I know you've been had a couple of things to say about it.
Well, for me, it's I've never seen one like this before. It's an awesome little machine. I think it's geared a little bit tall, but that means you'll be able to go fast on a track with this thing, okay? It is really a beautiful piece. I didn't get a chance to get my hands on it yet, but I've seen it run, and it's just a beautiful little machine, and I hate to wear this term out. I really think it's a one of a kind.
Yeah, I'd have to agree. Like Kenny said, we had 2,500 bikes come through here in the last 6 years that we've sold, and not one of these. Nor do I ever think we'll see one again because they made 100 of them 57 years ago, and they raced them, so they got destroyed.
There's probably a few of them that are beat up and broken, and I'm sure there's a few of them that have been changed into, you know,
hill climbers or dirt bikes.
Hill climbers or dirt bikes or something. That you don't see too many of these.
So good luck bidding on it, and as always, God bless America.